A warm and graceful morning to our guest, Mr. Danish Manzoor, Worthy Principal, Professor Dr. Farooq Amdrath Sahab, Professor HOD Physics, Mr. Tariq Chalku Sahab, HOD Media State Dr. Danish Nabi Sahab, Worthy faculty members, my dear friends and students, and everyone who gathered here. It's my privilege to propose a welcome speech and acknowledge the contribution of those who worked really hard to make this event happen. I, Akhtar Niyaz, on behalf of Department of Media Studies and the entire family of this institution, first of all extend my sincere thanks to the Almighty Allah for making today's event a resounding success. With His blessing and grace, we are able to make this event what it would be. On behalf of my department, I extend a really warm welcome to our guest, Mr. Danish Manzoor, who spared time from his busy schedule to grace the occasion. Today we had an opportunity to hear his thoughts, and this will surely be going to encourage us in our future events. Your thoughts will enlighten our minds, Mr. Danish, and will show our students a new path. As Danish has been alumni of our college, so we are graced with him today. It's a big occasion for us, and especially I have taught him. That was his last year here. So from that, I have seen him after more than 1 decade, sir. So Danish, your thoughts will enlighten our minds and will show our students a new path. My gratitude to all participants for gracing this occasion, especially Worthy Principal Sahab and Tariq Sahab, because I would like to inform our guests that our college has recently got autonomy. So inshallah in future, we'll be doing more better things. To inform our guests, the Department of Media Studies had undergone complete metamorphosis. As you have witnessed it, the department since a decade now, it has completely changed. The Department of Media Studies now holds primary position in media industry, and we are now reached both academically as well as in other spheres. Now, I would like to enlighten students here that opportunities are earned, and we have earned that opportunity to be with you. So, without wasting time, I would just give a brief profile of our worthy guest, Mr. Danish Sahab. He's the youngest ever to hold the position of editorial director at the International Business Times in Asia. And to add here, Danish Sahab, we are teaching all these things here. Now, all these things you can witness here are a complete different scenario of media here. From academics to practical, everything is happening here on daily basis. He at present has editorial study, tech and social innovation, dabbling in artificial intelligence and blockchain for media, and partnership for Asia Pacific at the Newsweek Group. Now, without wasting time, because we are already short of time, I would call upon Mr. Danish Sahab to come here on the dais and enlighten our students. Thank you.
When I was in this institution, I was already heading a local TV news channel called JK Channel here. I had my own show called Final Report. And I started my career in journalism when I was in 8th standard by fluke. So while in school, I realized that there is nothing else that I want to do more than to be in this then noble profession. I call it then noble profession because at this point of time, we all know what this profession is faced with. I remember when I started in this field of journalism, in my 10th and 11th and 12th, when I used to host programs on the local TV channel, I was told by many journalists here in the valley that ye to unprofessional hai. I mean, they were freaking jealous of me, let's face it. But they called me unprofessional. I asked, why am I unprofessional? They said, you don't have a degree of journalism. So it used to always hit me that I don't have a degree in journalism. Am I unprofessional because of that? But the TRPs of my show says otherwise. The fact that my final report or my entertainment show called Aapke SMS, Aapke Geet, basically your Hello Farmaish back in the day. I converted that from phone calls to SMSs. But my TRP shows otherwise. Does journalism really need a degree? That was a question I asked myself, and the answer was I landed up here in this institution, thinking that no, I don't want to be known as an unprofessional journalist. But coming back to my original question, The biggest problem that the field of media at this juncture faces is the credibility crisis that we are suffering at this point of time. Back in the day, when you would tell somebody, what do you do? I'm a journalist, they would at least have a certain mark of respect towards you. It would be perhaps a smirk, right? Oh, media, Bikav media. If you are in Delhi, you're Godi media. If you are here, you are some agent, some media. Okay? So the credibility crisis, the fact that people do not trust the media anymore, is not entirely wrong. Let us face it. They have been our seniors who have absolutely let us down. Why? Because journalists got into getting contracts, journalists got into becoming advocates for corporates or somebody else. That was not their core job. The core job for us was very simple, that to help the common man, to help the people who don't have a voice, to become their voice and resolve their issues. Back in the day, if you still ask me, despite being where I am today, I still miss my good old journalism. And what was that good old journalism? That was, while in school in 10th standard, I once walked 45 kilometers with my Bata school shoe and went to a nearby village near Badgam. Those people did not have water supply in that area. I walked. I met those people. I met the village leader. He laughed at me. Said, "Kya kara? तो चुप लाकर क्यों होता है? क्या करा?" इतने MLA उन्होंने बच्चे क्या करना है सर आप? ठीक है? I said, मैं आपको वादा करता हूँ, मैं जितना मुझसे हो सके मैं करूँगा. This piece was published in a local English daily as a bottom spread, what I had written about them not getting water. The very next day, Divisional Commissioner Kashmir then called upon the PHE chief engineer, and within the next 11 days, that village got its water. When I walked back to my home in Srinagar, the moment I entered my home, we had a tap outside. I opened that tap and I watched that Bata shoe of mine, that Rexine wala juta. I watched that. उसके ऊपर से जब वो मिट्टी गिरी, जो उसमें से वो सौंधी खुशबू निकली, that was the biggest remuneration I've received in my life till date. Now in media, everybody wants to be some kind of a star. The idea is we are not supposed to be stars. We are supposed to be the people behind the people and helping them and raising their voice. In whatever little way, I continue to do that. Why? Because I owe it to this department, I owe it to our state, erstwhile state, now UT. I owe it to my UT, I owe it to my people, I owe it to my colleagues, my family, that we make sure that as people from this beautiful valley, we do our best and take it forward. In this process, we don't let technology also become a barrier, but we utilize technology in such a way that technology becomes a multiplying force multiplier for us, that we utilize this to reach more people and deliver effective and quality content and ensure that people's issues are heard and seen. So in my journey, which started from print media, got into broadcast media, dabbled into digital by accident, back in 2009 when nobody believed that digital is going to be a big thing. I got into it at that point of time. Had India's third fastest growing digital startup to my name, which of course tanked ultimately, but at least we gave it a try. And now, where I stand is the fact that I did not want to be a Jhola Chhap Patrakar. You know what a Jhola Chhap Patrakar is, जो आप फिल्मों में देखते थे ना? सेम बंदा झोला पहन के चलता था, वही बंदा जाके प्रिंटिंग प्रेस चलाता था, फिर वही प्रिंट करके आगे लेता था. Those days are gone. With the advent of social media, everything changed. Now, what do you have special? Back in the day, the special thing you had was your pen. You would write your paper, which would reach the masses, or your television screen, which people would see. But people have that directly now. Why on earth would they need you? So are your jobs in the next 1 decade or 2 decades, are they going to be secure? Are you going to be a print journalist and still be relevant 10 years from now? Are you going to be a broadcast journalist and still be relevant 10 years from now? This is a question you need to ask yourself at this point of time. That how do you skill yourself first, learn the basics, because without learning the rules, you'll not be able to break the rules. That I learned here. That till the time you don't learn the rules, you will not be able to break the rules, and rules make the basis of whatever you do next. And without rules, you're basically floating in water. Now, how many of you have studied theories of communication? Can you please raise your hands? Before I dabble into blockchain and AI for media, what we do in the present day, with how the future looks like, the reason I wanted to stress upon this is that unless and until you get your basics right, there are two things you can do with your lives. One is you can just be here, prepare for the exams, जिसे हम रट्टाफिकेशन कहते थे हमारे टाइम में, आप लोग क्या कहते हो मुझे नहीं पता, रट्टा मार के पास करके ग्रेजुएट होके यहाँ से बाहर जाओ. And the other thing is you utilize these days, no matter what difficulty you're facing at your home, no matter which background you come from, you have no excuse not to learn. You have no excuse not to learn. Don't tell me there's a problem in your home. Don't tell me your health is not good. लोग टांगे तोड़ के भी बेड पे बैठ के किताबें लेके पढ़ सकते हैं. आजकल तो फोन आपके साथ में है. But the youth of this valley, especially the people sitting in this room today, you've got a bigger responsibility than any other department here. Because you tomorrow are going to be the opinion makers. And you cannot not be the masters of all the fields. But if you're not mastered what you have to study, and if you're not studied that, अगर आपने उसको घोट के पिया नहीं है, something is absolutely wrong. There will be jobs for everybody, but you'll end up in PR, you'll end up in content writing, you'll end up somewhere in some job, but you'll not end up excelling. I guarantee you that. You'll not. Because there is no shortcut for hard work. Unless and until you learn your basics, आपको हक अदा करना है अपने टीचर्स का जो यहाँ पे आके टाइम स्पेंड करते हैं. अगर वो अवेलेबल नहीं है, आप खोजो. Look for them. Go to the library, study more. Go onto the internet, listen to more things. Because I believe before I go on to the main topic, this is more important. Because till the time we realize that people of Jammu and Kashmir, and especially you guys, have a moral responsibility to be able to tell the stories right of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. To be able to show to the world the talent that Jammu and Kashmir has. And trust me, I have hired people from across the country in 4 countries. I have not found talent as great as we have in Jammu and Kashmir. I have not found. The only thing we lack is कोई हमारी दुम को हिला दे, कोई हमें जगा दे. If you heard the poem of Faz में एक poem लिखी है, उसका नाम है कुत्ते. Please write it down. आज वो सब जाके पढ़ेंगे. वो कुत्ते basically is an allegory to us. कि कोई इनकी सोई हुई दुम जगह हिला दे, कोई इनको एहसास ज़िल्लत दिला दे. ठीक है, तो वो पोएम पढ़िए, वो पढ़ के ये समझिएगा कि हमें करना क्या है लाइफ में आगे जाके. Because tomorrow you can be out there in the job market, there will be no jobs. Everybody just wants financial security and stability. वो आ जाएगी. Money should not be your primary concern. I'm telling you, because रिज़्क देने वाला हमारे इस्लाम में कौन है? अल्लाह. तो आपको क्या फिक्र है अपने रिज़्क की सोचने की, यार जॉब मिलेगी नहीं मिलेगी? The moment you start working hard, the moment you start working in the right direction, the moment you start working towards peace, prosperity, the idea is never to become part of something which is destructive. The idea is never to become part of something which will just drag us down further. Kashmir and people of Kashmir have had enough of violence. They have had enough of everything. Now is a time to tell the stories of hope. It's extremely important. We can very well be victims for the rest of our lives and enjoy it. Oh, we are victims. Or you can all get up and stop being victims and say, no, we are not victims. We will excel. We will endeavor. We will ensure that we will come out of this and we will tell our stories and tell our stories right. It is very important. So bottom line, learn well whatever you're doing. Ikra. Right, your Quran tells you. So learn right. No matter what you have to do, everything else in life can wait. There's enough fun to be had in life. I'm not saying don't have fun in college. Please have fun in college. A lot of fun in college. I've had. God is my witness. I've had so much fun in this institution, I can't even tell you. But still, not at the cost of your studies. It is extremely important that no matter how much your teachers know or don't know, you have ultimate and utmost regard for them. जिससे एक लफ्ज़ भी सीखा, उसके लिए ultimate regard होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. That will become the basis of yours, everything. हमारे टाइम में, मैं आज भी जब तारिक सर को देखता हूँ या अख्तर सर को देखता हूँ, I bend. I don't want to do it. It just naturally happens. Why? Because they've been my teachers. No matter where I am in life, I'll always do that. I'll always bow to them and very happily so. But does today's generation, everybody talks today, does today's generation in Kashmir do that? हमारे यहाँ तो जब हम छोटे थे, in late 90s, we would see anybody with a लंबी दाढ़ी walking in the gully and हम लोग को मतलब भाग देते, कौन आया, कौन आया, कौन आया, कौन आया. आज के time में kids are smoking in front of elders, etc., etc. So at least let this group be the change. At least you all inculcate these basic values in you कि अपने घर पे जाके अपने parents का एहतराम, और सबसे important चीज हुस्न सलूक. Aggression comes very easily to us. गुस्सा, aggression, मैं दिखाऊंगा मैं कौन हूँ. That's very easy. But humility is extremely, extremely important for you as values. अगर हुस्न सलूक आपका ठीक रहा, everybody will see that okay, these people come from a particular section, particular religion, particular place, but look at them. How look at their humility and look at their intelligence. Look at the fact, even if they don't know what they're talking about, but they want to learn. Even if they're not smart enough, but they have the hunger in them to learn. Okay? So now coming back to the topic, which was blockchain and AI in media. So जब print से शुरू हुआ, broadcast में आए, digital में आए. Back in 1990s, even since it's an introductory lecture, I will not go very deep into it because it's very exhaustive field. Back in 90s, when internet came in, there were naysayers who used to say, "Hey, what is this internet?" On a US TV channel called NBC, there was a discussion where they were discussing what is an email. So they put up an email address on screen and they were debating what is this A और A के ऊपर goal क्या है. So will this ever catch up? What is this, man? There's a proper established schedule that we have. There is television, there is print media. What is this at the rate? What will happen? Now cut to the year 2000. The world was completely taken over by the digital era. Today, what do we talk about? Cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology. And people are still wondering, or NFTs, what are these? What are these? People don't care. कुछ नहीं होगा, let it be. But it will take over, and a new generation, a new breed of entrepreneurs, journalists, technologists, they will come and they will lead, and everybody else. Like आज print media वाले कहाँ हैं? When I was in Jagran, I had on the board basically of the editors. Back in 2009, I proposed to the editors, I said, I would really like to have an upskilling session for all the senior editors of Jagran so that we can catch up with technology. Off the record, I was told, what is your age? I said, I'm around all of 25 years old. They said, हमने बाल पका दिए हैं यहाँ तक आते आते. कुर्सी पे जगह मिली है ना टेबल पे, चुपचाप बैठे रहो. The guy who told me this was a very senior editor. And the same guy today is jobless. No, till 2 years ago was jobless. I found him, we upskilled him, we got him a job. Okay? And which means that in this field, you don't only have to be a journalist. Don't be mistaken. You have to be a journalist, you have to be an architect, you have to be an engineer, you have to be a physicist, you have to be an astrologist, you have to be an astronomer. Because you have to read and absorb and understand everything under the sun. Why? Because tomorrow you'll be given a civic beat. Day after you'll be told to cover crime. The other day you'll be asked to cover science, because the manpower crunch in the field of media is insane at this point of time, and job roles have changed. Now with the advent of new job roles, you're basically sitting on the desk, you're supposed to cover everything. Write what is trending. What kind of a brief is that? When you're told, write what is trending, which means it can be from any field. Unless you have a basic understanding of everything, what will you do? The biggest problem in the field that we face today is we don't have reporters or journalists who can write basic proper English. Can you believe that? Right? So one advice I have for you, buy R.L. Manzoor or any other English grammar workbooks for yourselves and every day work on this. Every day. And read good books. Anything. जिसमें चना खाते हो बाहर जाके न्यूज़पेपर में चना खा लिया उसके बाद खोल के पढ़ो. शैम्पू की बॉटल यूज करते हो उसके पीछे कोई पढ़ा है उसमें क्या है? Read that. So whatever you read, I guarantee you will always be of some use to you. Because the shampoo bottle thing ended up coming to my use in a discussion with a couple of former US ambassadors, and they were discussing about the contents of the shampoo, and they were like, I don't know what my shampoo has, it just gives me some, flaky hair. So I got in and I read my shampoo bottle. And I told them, oh, probably there's that enzyme inside that or that chemical which is causing that. Looking at me like, what the hell? I, being a nobody, was able to get the attention of the top ambassadors in a room full of ambassadors. Why? Just because I read a bloody shampoo bottle accidentally one day before I got into shower. Okay. Now coming back to blockchain. Where does blockchain fit into the present media sphere? Now, first of all, how many of you know what blockchain is? Can you raise your hands? How many of you know what NFTs are? Raise your hands. How many of you know what cryptocurrencies are? Right? Now, this, where we stand right now, the fact that being the students of media, you have not endeavored कि आपके अंदर वो तलब नहीं थी कि blockchain सब लोग बात तो कर रहे हैं कि है क्या? What does it take to learn this? It doesn't take a Danish Manzoor to teach you that. I am sorry. It takes you a simple Google search in your phone. You all have smartphones, right? If you don't, you've got your labs here. हमारे time पे lab मतलब अल्लाह ही हाफिज़ था उस lab का. ठीक है? But you have got your phones. Just Google it. It's as simple as that. Or Bing it if you don't like that browser. और more browsers करो, Tor वो यूज कर लो, Firefox यूज कर लो, जो भी करना है बट वो करो, जो भी सर्च इंजन यूज करना है, Yandex कर लो, रशियन वाला यूज कर लो, but read up on what blockchain is. So I don't have a pen and stuff here, but still I'll just, since it's an introductory lecture, we'll dwell a little deeper into it at a later stage. We'll go into technicalities of it as well. We'll also try and draw parallels between the present day media issues that the industry faces and how we are attempting to deploy blockchain as a technology and AI as a technology into the present media sphere. What does it mean for the next generation of media students, what they should learn, what they should be upskilling about? It is going to be very important for you guys. So blockchain is nothing. Basically, imagine a chain, simply a chain. What is a chain made of? It is made of multiple blocks, right? 1 block, 2 block, 3 block, 4 block, 5 block. Blockchain as a technology is basically nothing but blocks of these data, which are decentralized. What does decentralized mean? Everything in this world at present is centralized. There's a central bank, an RBI, which covers everything. But for a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, is there any central bank? No, there is not. It is multiple people called Bitcoin miners who utilize their computers and their GPUs, graphical processing units. And they keep this currency alive in a virtual space. Now, what is a currency? So before I go into blockchain as technology, I have to explain cryptocurrency to you guys. So what is a currency? जो 100 रुपए का नोट 500 का नोट है, who decides ये 500 का नोट है? It is basically a perceived value and the value we put on it. अभी आप 1000 का नोट पिछला वाला यूज कर सकते हो क्या? No. Why? It is still the same note, it is still the same paper. Somebody decided it is gone, it is gone. Its value is gone, right? That currency is called fiat. F-I-A-T, fiat currency. That's your regular currency. So basically it's all about perceived value. So fiat currency जो आपके बैंक में है, अगर आपके बैंक में 10 लाख रुपए है, अल्लाह करे 1 करोड़ है, but अगर आपके बैंक में 10 लाख है, 10,000 है, 5,000 है, unless it is as cash in your hand, as fiat in your hand, वो पैसा आपको लगता है आपके बैंक में एक्चुअल कहीं कैश स्टोर किया हुआ है? किसी बैंक ने वो 10,000 रुपए स्टोर करके रखा है क्या? नो, वो बस कंप्यूटर के अंदर एक नंबर लिखे हो कि वहां 10,000 रुपए है. अभी जो ये पीएनबी का क्रैश हुआ था वेरी रिसेंटली, उसमें लोगों के 1 करोड़ थे, 2 करोड़ थे, 10 लाख थे, 15 लाख थे. What did the government tell them? Sorry, we can only give you 1 lakh rupees. Because for every saving bank's account, the bank, as per RBI, their liability is 1 lakh to 5 lakh rupees. You could have 50 lakhs, you'll get only 5 lakhs guaranteed back. बाकी अगर बैंक डूब गया, you'll get nothing. So that's a separate topic, that savings bank accounts are the biggest scam. We'll not go there and never put your money only in savings. But coming back to the value of it, वो जो आप कंप्यूटर पे देखते हैं, अपने ATM मशीन पे देखते हो कि you got 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 rupees in your account, that is just a number. Similarly, cryptocurrency follows something very similar, which is basically assigning value on something. So one Bitcoin which started from like $1 today is where? Thousands of dollars, $45,000, $50,000, एक Bitcoin. अब तो मतलब लिमिटेड बिटकॉइंस है. अब क्या किया, उसको डिवाइड कर दिया उन लोगों ने, मिलियंस ऑफ. नाउ यू कैन ओन 0.00000001 बिटकॉइन आल्सो, व्हिच कैन बी लाइक अराउंड $100 या 6,000 रुपए, 7,000 रुपए का आपको 0.000001 बिटकॉइन आप खरीद सकते हो. बट इट इज फ्लक्चुएटिंग, इट कीप्स फ्लक्चुएटिंग. व्हाई? Because just like market, anything else in the market, the value of it keeps fluctuating. So Bitcoin is basically built on the platform, on the technology called blockchain. Blockchain is not anything else but a technology. Okay? So what does it do? It brings authenticity, it brings credibility, it brings security to the element of whatever is built on top of it. So imagine a chain with multiple links. What happens? That if you withdraw something from your account, अगर आपने किसी को चेक दे दी, ब्लैंक चेक दे दी, वो जाके विड्रॉ कर लेगा. Will you able to find out कि किसने किया? किसी ने किसी को दे दिया, चोरी हो गई, किसी और ने आपका विड्रॉ कर लिया. अभी आपके जो मतलब पैसा जाता है ना, एमपे वाले फ्रॉड्स होते हैं, केबीसी वाले फ्रॉड्स होते हैं, people pay that money and money disappears. It takes a long time to track it. ठीक है? Similarly, contract requirements. आप किसी के साथ में कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करते हो कि मैं आपको अपना बिजनेस बेच रहा हूँ, आप मेरे को 10 लाख रुपए दोगे आफ्टर 1 year. वो अगर अपना कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑनर नहीं करता, आप क्या कर लोगे उसका? सिविल कोर्ट में जाओगे ना, you'll go in the civil court, you'll file a case. 10 लाख रुपए का बिजनेस आपका ले गया, 10 साल तक आपका केस चलेगा, आप बोलेगे जाने दो यार, मैं 10 साल कोई और ही काम कर लूंगा. ठीक है? So ये भी एक प्रॉब्लम है वहां पे. So credibility is one issue. You purchase a Bitcoin, you all become owners of that particular Bitcoin, and governments have no control over it. They can't raise and reduce the prices. They can't print more Bitcoin. No, they can't. Like cash, governments can push more cash into the system. If you understand economy, governments can push more cash into the system. But Bitcoin जितनी है उतनी ही है, उसी को डिवाइड करके आपस में लोग एक दूसरे से उसको ट्रेड कर सकते हैं. उसका भी खाली perceived value है, actual value है ही नहीं. There is no asset behind it, right? Earlier with fiat, with your regular currency, there used to be अगर $10,000 हैं, in the US Reserve there used to be $10,000 worth of gold stored. So there was gold linked currency that you had back in the day. It was delinked ultimately, and today it is again back to the same thing. There's nothing linked, there is no asset behind that. If you buy a property, you know मेरे पास property है, मैंने आज जमीन कहीं खरीद ली, वो जमीन का value is X at this time. चलो यार 5 साल के बाद X plus 5 हो जाए. Why? Because you have an asset. But in cryptocurrency, in cash, what is lying in your bank, there is no asset that you have with it. ठीक है? So blockchain एक different क्या है? Blockchain में ये होता है, for instance, in this blockchain, if you make any changes in it, if somebody makes a withdrawal, so each block, say XA is one block. The moment any change is made to that particular block, somebody withdraws something, somebody checks it, somebody does something, a new hash is created. What is a hash? Another block of data is created, which means XA1. तो उसमें एक सिग्नेचर रहता है XA1. अख्तर सर के कंप्यूटर से एक्सेस हुआ था, इनके वॉलेट से एक्सेस हुआ था, इन्होंने ये चेंज किया है सिस्टम के अंदर. सो देयर इज एलिमेंट ऑफ क्रेडिबिलिटी, अकाउंटेबिलिटी, कि वी कैन होल्ड हिम अकाउंटेबल. ये तो आपने लॉग इन किया था, चेंज तो आपने किया था इसके अंदर. बट मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली इट इज डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड. कोई सेंट्रल बैंक कंट्रोल नहीं करता है. मल्टीपल हंड्रेड्स एंड थाउजेंड्स ऑफ पीपल हु आर बिटकॉइन माइनर्स, जिनके कंप्यूटर्स लगे हुए होते हैं, उनके सिस्टम्स पे ये जिंदा है ये पूरी चीज. सो ब्लॉकचेन इज अ टेक्नोलॉजी. ऑन टॉप ऑफ इट multiple use cases are built. Multiple use cases. जैसे आप देख रहे हैं, there are multiple cryptocurrencies. There's Bitcoin, there's Ethereum, there's Dogecoin. So Ethereum is also one important blockchain. इस Ethereum का अपना एक cryptocurrency है, उसे कहते हैं Ether. Why does Ethereum need to have its own cryptocurrency? I'll tell you. Because once you're building on a particular blockchain, how do you incentivize people? How do you pay them? If you're paying them in cash, then what is the difference? You pay them in tokens. Tokens basically are money. Same as money, they're tokens. You pay them in tokens called Ether. हर blockchain, हर technology का, हर एक base का, like Ethereum का, Ether is the cryptocurrency. ठीक है? आजकल जो आप NFT करते हैं, do you know what NFT is? NFT is simply called non-fungible token. Now what is an NFT? This picture of mine here, this picture of mine, I own the rights to it. One day I decide I'll put up this picture, the GIF of this picture or the JPEG of this picture on the metaverse or on the Ethereum blockchain, and I list it as an NFT. कि मैं इसको ना 0.1 ईथर में मुझे मेरी पिक्चर के राइट्स भेजने हैं, ये आपका हो जाएगा. कोई मीम देखते हो ना आप, व्हाट इज द मोस्ट फेमस मीम यू हैव सीन, द मोस्ट हिलेरियस मीम यू हैव सीन? आमिर लियाकत, हा, right? Remember आमिर लियाकत का हा, this becomes a meme and become a gif now. अब उसी को if you want to own it, ये मेरा है. जैसे art, people buy art, right? What is art? It is tangible. आप उसको touch कर सकते हो. ये अच्छी painting है. This is M.F. Hussain. Its value is $20 million. Why? You can make better than that. No, उसने कोई आड़ी तिरछी लाइनें खींच ली, वो 20 मिलियन का हो गया, 10 मिलियन का हो गया. Whereas if you make something, it has no value. It is like, हाँ, कितने का कैनवस है? 2000 का कैनवस है, 25 से चलो 100 रुपए इसको पेंटर को देंगे, तू अपना पेंट इसमें कर दिया. So 20 million versus 2500, 2600 rupees, क्यों? But similarly, what you do is you take these GIFs and you put them on the internet. उसका एक perceived value है, हा का perceived value है, इसका global recall है, and you become the owner of that in the global space. I am the registered owner of this. People will still use it. You know, you can't control कि वो GIF कोई use नहीं करेगा, वो still use करेंगे, but you own the bragging rights to it. If any larger corporation uses it, they have to pay you for your IP because you own the IP for that particular thing. Okay? So as I said, this is a very extremely vast field. So first, perhaps if we are able to have a next session, we'll exclusively focus on first what blockchain as a technology is. Then we'll focus on cryptocurrencies and their relevance with respect to blockchain. After we do that, then we'll dwell into AI and its application because that is an entirely different sphere altogether. Now, broadly speaking, how do we utilize blockchain in media? हमने starting में क्या कहा था? What is wrong with media? Credibility. What else? Authenticity, credibility. हम कहते हैं fake news है. हम कहते हैं credibility नहीं है. As freelancers, what is the other issue you face if you're a freelancer when you write for some publication? Is the problem of payments. They don't send you payments in time. And there's no set payment for you. You have to keep writing to the HR, sir, mera payment nahi aaya. Why should you do that? That is also what is wrong with the media. This I'm telling you from the perspective of a journalist. There are thousands of other things which are wrong with the field. Like since I work at the intersection of business, of media, technology of media, journalism part of it. So I see all of those issues, which is basically copyright infringements that we face, contract issues that we face, which are n number of issues. Now coming back down to the credibility issues, how can blockchain fix it? मैंने क्या बताया earlier? If Atar sir makes a change in a certain blockchain, in a particular file, in an article online, we will know it was him who made the change. We will know it was him who has fudged it, or you who has fudged it, or you who has fudged. We will know. What does that do? It will make you cautious. You will not tamper. If you tamper, there will be a record of it. You will be held accountable for that. So tampering becomes firstly less in terms of what the communication is to be communicated to the masses. What news is there? Uski tampering बहुत कम होगी. And the end user will be able to identify the source of the particular information. अभी क्या होता है, कई बार बारामूला में एक प्रोटेस्ट हो गया, उसमें किसी ने आईसिस का फ्लैग खोल दिया 2016 में. आज कोई इंसिडेंट हो गया, आज वो फोटो वायरल है कि बारामूला kids of Baramulla are protesting and ISIS flag is raised. अब एक अमेरिकन मीडिया आउटलेट को किसी ने दे दिया, उन लोगों ने चला लिया इसको, यहाँ पे उथल पुथल मच गई, अर्नब गोस्वामी की नींद हराम हो गई उठ के. He got all crazy, his BP got high and he started. But हुआ क्या था? कब की पिक्चर थी? 16 की. वायरल कब हुई? कॉन्टेक्स्ट क्या था? Wrong. So it was it a fake image? No, it was not a fake image. What was it? It was misleading. It was misleading with the wrong context shared. Now, if the same thing were on blockchain, the metadata of that picture, you know what it is, right? How many of you know what a metadata of a picture is? Please raise your hands. I know photographers must know. Okay, this is basic. You need to work on this. That is one person. Who else? Not a healthy sign for me. I'm brutally honest, guys. You guys have to excuse me for it. Okay, because I care. I care because I need to see all of you excelling in your field. I care because I need to, each one of you are my family. I need to see you out there excelling. So metadata, basically every picture that you click, it's ISO data, it's where it was clicked, it's geolocation, everything is stored in the EXIF data or the metadata of that particular image. So if we have that metadata and we put it on a blockchain and we ensure that it is captured on a blockchain, that somebody who uploads that particular picture at that particular location will be able to geolocate that particular space and the time of that, the camera of that, the make of that camera, the owner of that camera. So in 2020, if we get a picture of 2016, we'll just run a check and we'll eventually be able to quickly figure out, oh, no, we should not run this, so to speak. So one application of blockchain to run a pipeline of all of these images and content and data, and we'll be able to have verifiable content and we will have content which is not misleading. That is just one small application of it, right? Similarly, in micropayments, for instance, if you are a media, if you have your own website and you want people to pay for it, how do? You can't link it with your wallets, right? But again, not a very foolproof thing, but if you put it on a blockchain, the value you get would be much higher because because the cryptocurrency prices are going up. Somebody pays you 0.0001 Ether or 0.001 of a Bitcoin, and 1 year later it could be 5 times or it can be minus 10 times as well. But at least you are on the blockchain, so you will have clarity. The other thing in Ethereum blockchain is called smart contracts. What are smart contracts? Smart contracts are basically codes written, like digital signatures, smart contracts. Like I mentioned earlier, that if you have a contractual obligation with somebody, you have a website, your friend has a website, you want to do a joint venture with them, देखो यार 30-30 revenue share करेंगे. What you need to do is just write a code on Ethereum, put your website on blockchain, and connect your wallets and accounts to it, and basically set the code these rules that if we are able to get more than 10 lakh rupees as profit, out of that 30% goes to this wallet, 60% goes here, and 10% remains in the operational expenses. उसमें ना ये चोरी कर सकता है ना आप चोरी कर सकते हो. They are smart contract, they are self-executable, they'll be auto-executed. Similarly, a concept of escrow that also come into play, but we'll not get into that. ठीक है? This is basically, by and large, the broader ways in which we can use blockchain. Personally, I'm working on a couple of projects wherein I want to ensure that we fix the credibility of media using blockchain. We host a media platform on a particular blockchain like Ethereum, and then we bring in something with credibility where people have a say to upvote and downvote a particular set of content where you all can decide. And the moment you get downvoted, you as an author, as a writer, if you are somebody who has a particular agenda, you have a particular bias, you have a particular knack for misinformation, you'll be out of the system. So bottom line here है कि it is a new universe. You must have heard about metaverse. How many have heard about metaverse? Please raise your hands. One person. Guys, you are media students. You're supposed to know this. You're supposed to read this. Follow news, for heaven's sake. Follow international news. Because if we stay in this particular, वो देखा आपने रेस का घोड़ा देखा ना? उसको blinkers लगे होते हैं. वो खाली एक डायरेक्शन में आता है. मुझे एग्जाम पास करना है. वो रेस के घोड़े को जब बाहर निकालते हैं, वो किसी काम का नहीं होता. You can't afford to be that. Please remove your blinkers. Please learn. Do yourselves, your families a favor. You're sitting here, you're spending some money. Somebody has earned it. Do yourselves a favor. Don't take your education lightly. Excellence आ जाएगा, पैसा आ जाएगा. मैं यहाँ बैठे I guarantee you, किसी को रिज़िक की चिंता नहीं है, क्योंकि वो गारंटी तो ऊपर से आई है. ठीक है? But if you want to do something in your life, and I would folded hand request you, please do it for yourselves, your families, and most importantly, for the people of Kashmir. You have to. The next time I see you guys, when I ask you some questions, in general, I need more answers the next time. What is stopping you from reading the books of general knowledge? Remember, when you prepare for UPSC or GK ki books aati hain, what is stopping you from doing that? Nothing is stopping you. 24 hours, in that 10 hours sleep. Remaining 10 hours when you're not in college, do whatever you want to do. How many remaining? 4 hours. Of those 4 hours, 2 more hours go just loiter around. How many remaining? 2 hours. Out of that also 1 hour, do whatever you want to do. Go play snooker, golf, whatever. or gilli danda, sazalong, जिसको जो खेलना है, play that. Then 1 hour, उसमें से भी आधा घंटा निकाल दो. 30 minutes every day, learn something new. Read a book. Just 30 minutes. In this student life, these 30 minutes, when they accumulate at the end of it, you will be thanking yourself for utilizing your time, because everything in life you will get back. 2 things you want: your time and your health. Your time and your health is something you will not get back. Remember me 30 years from now, when I am much older, you guys are old enough, that there was an idiot who had come to a college who said time and health, these 2 things never ignore. So make sure all of you work out, boys and girls, whatever, go for walks, do something, eat healthy. It is very important, because unless you eat healthy, everything else goes for a toss. In schools, colleges, they don't teach you this. They should ideally. Nutrition is a very important part of what you do. So when you eat healthy, you work out, you keep yourself healthy, you will be able to study better, serve your people, your family, your nation better. And most importantly, never stop learning. That is very important. Okay? So I think at this juncture, I will like to conclude this, because I don't want to overburden you with too much, since we don't have any aids here with which I can sort of show you, so you will visualize it. Because I used to hate monologues when I was sitting there. So I don't want to bore you guys with monologues, because this is something, a very interesting thing, and I believe in doing workshops wherein we all sit together, I give you a problem and we all solve it together. That does is education becomes more effective, and I will try my level best to sort of spend some more time to come back here. But before I do the next time, I'll send you guys an assignment. You guys will work on that assignment, you'll come with some answers, I'll send you some study material, you'll study that and come back a more informed class. So then we can rock this class together.
Well, I have been going through these things, but today so many things got cleared by Danish Saab. But I believe there is reluctance from the society, where there is bit of illiteracy related to it, and people are scared. People having good bank balance, they are scared what to do with that. People are scared if they are having some sort of wealth, how they are going to utilize that. Who is going to take that in virtual world? There are these things are happening, but I'm sure as long as you are here and you are giving this kind of information to our youth, they may have some sort of confidence. Now, so far this department is concerned, I'm sure they will not be simply working in this field. We are trying our best to put them in versatile mode so that they can have their future in acting, in technical part of that, in writing. But you cannot stop writing a novel, you cannot stop writing a poem. So let them be versatile, let them be diversified, so that everybody gets absorbed and have roti kapda makan. Thank you very much.
Guest of honor for the day, Mr. Danish Manzoor, head of Department of Mass Media, and other colleagues on the floor, and their students. I don't think anything better than this would have happened in this college today, because just to apprise Mr. Danish, this college is into the changing era. I say era because this college has become autonomous in its working now, even though some slight formalities at the hands of affiliating university are pending. But we have the green signal from University Grants Commission. Second part of it is that this union territory has taken a lead over the rest of the states in implementation of the National Education Policy or New Education Policy 2020. And what takeaways we have from today's deliberations? The first takeaway is basics are very important. Nothing builds up from nothing, even though I am a student of physics and our principal sub is also a student of physics. There might be certain contradictions on this, that certain things, nothing comes out of nothing. But here, talking about the tangibility of this universe, things have to be built upon something. And a taxonomy goes that you build up a pyramid, the wider your base, the taller you can build it. Right? Now, what makes the base wider is that I would like this group to be well versed, as our expert said, with not only humanities and media. You have to be first very well versed with the theology, the religion, the language, science, social science, humanity. You talk of an area, sports, medicine, you have to be there. In the journey of this department, I would name a person, but Akhtar Saab will vividly remember one of our very senior faculty members who still comes to visit this college. He had some kinds of, he don't have a very, say, he didn't find himself very comfortable finding a person with a camera in his hands, in simple words. And maybe there were sufferings which were in waiting, and they came because of this kind of mindset that these people who carry cameras are always onto something which is unworthy. One day I was conducting a viva in the previous studio. He came around with his daughter and looked around, said that this department is not meant for the ordinary students. This is meant for those who are extra genius, because they have to get into all the nitty-gritties of the social life, works, then working of the administration, working of the society, community problem, other things. I congratulated Akhtar Saab that at least some good sense has although it must have taken 6 years, because I was right. More than 6 years. I just want to convey to you that advice from people who are in the market, who are in the job market, who are in the industry is always worthy, kindly valued. So one of the takeaways of our today's program is reading. Strong basics. Job market, what it looks today, is not going to be there tomorrow. You are not going to live from today on in 2019 or 2020. You have to live in 2023. Prepare yourself for the jobs of tomorrow. You might have to forego what the jobs would look like 3 years back. You have to become rebellious in thought. You have to implement certain things which might not be even very well known to me today, because you have to live in tomorrow. And particularly, media is a happening area. It is the area which is not an organized sector. In organized sector, profiles are set. They don't change. You are going to face unorganized sector. I don't today call those people unqualified who did media without having even metric pass. This could be a kind of surprise to you that a person without that, but he managed it because he was working in an unorganized sector where nobody could bash him out. But things are becoming organized, things are becoming very specific, things are becoming specialized, and technology you have to embrace. Also, I would like to apprise you that the syllabus which was in vogue in this college, I think for mass media, the cycle of changing the syllabus has to be 2 to 3 years. You cannot teach a syllabus beyond 3 years, in particular in this area where these people are supposed to be well versed in multimedia and the communication technologies. And I take it as a shortcoming of this college that the syllabus has not been revised at the proper periods. And I'm very sure that from here, from today, I advise these people that, and I also request this head of department that let's get the syllabus revised, a proper curriculum at work, and you have an advantage now. You are working in an autonomous college. You can create your own kinds of curricula, you can create your own kinds of training profiles, and the department, even within these shortcomings, has been doing very well. Just 3 days back, 2 films have bagged national prizes, and given Given the time, you will visualize those films. They will be screened here. I would be very glad to be a part of that proceedings. And we expect from you that sometimes it's a homecoming. You have been an alumnus, and I can understand that your schedule is very, very busy. But I would personally put it on record that we require your help off and on. We require to give them the profile of the industry outside, the world outside, given your vast experience, and they need a holding hand also.
That's true.
And then we also seek your help in terms of placement of these boys and girls. And that would be a very subtle and a very honest request from my side. Because see, this gentleman who has spent some time here, I think maybe today he doesn't recognize those things even if they exist or not. But something goes into your personality. When you repeatedly do it, it becomes a habit. He has picked up certain habits from here, and he will tell me that that's very true. So I want you people to pick up those habits from your seniors, from the experts, and be the change. Thank you very much.
Last but not least, I would just go to Warren Buffett. Danish Manzoor will be knowing him. He said that if you're in the age of communication, you're in the age of communication, and if you don't know to communicate, you're just making a girl in the darkness. So you have to be a part of that system. So now I call upon worthy principals, Professor Dr. Farakam Rathar Sahab, Tariq Sahab, and our HOD Danish Sahab to come on the dais and share a moment with our guest, Danish Sahab. Danish Sahab.
It's a token of love, and we are expecting so many things from you. Taking liberty in saying that he is going to have a workshop here.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for being with us. Thank you.